the vision of St. Katherine Drexel Academy is to empower great minds and great hearts to change the world. So it literally is
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SMA Audio Experience Podcast. Today, we are in our summer session of episodes, and we're very, very excited because just like every special guest that we've had on during the summer break, we're always looking to add value to any new listeners and in addition to our existing listeners in our podcast community on our channel. So with that being said, St. Michael's has done a lot, partnership and looking to reach out to other schools here in San Diego County, other Catholic schools, just to collaborate, partner, and just help each other grow. So one of the other ways that we've recently been able to do that is actually we've been fortunate enough to be invited into a cohort with other schools here in San Diego County to join a cohort focused on the next generation of, STEM and science, programs and initiatives and everything like that, working with other schools in this cohort, just to implement, new curriculum, new strategies, professional development, best practices, all that good stuff that you want to hear in a growing school, parish, campus, organization, just everything in life in general. We've been fortunate enough to be joined by St. Katherine Drexel Academy's principal, Miss Ann Egan. Miss Egan, thanks for joining us on the call today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I'm very excited to be on the podcast to have the opportunity to share a little bit more with you about the cohort that we're also excited to be a part of, and also the St. Katherine Drexel Academy story.
Awesome. Well, we talked about, we've kind of gone back and forth a little bit, sharing different tweets or direct messages over the last year or so. But we want to get, right into it. There's a couple of questions we want to ask you, but before we do that, for those who haven't heard of St. Katherine Drexel, because they may, know your school and your community is something a little different. Can you give us a little summary or a little intro about who you guys are and where you guys at in San Diego County?
Sure, happy to do so. St. Katherine Drexel Academy is the new integrated school located at the Blessed Sacrament Parish School site on El Cerrito and El Cajon Boulevard. We're located at 4551 56th Street, and Blessed Sacrament School merged with Our Lady of the Sacred Heart as of July 1, 2018, and that came about as a 2-year integration feasibility study conducted by the Bishop of San Diego through the Office for Schools, and Mr. Alfonso Magana, principal at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, and I have been collaborating for the past 2 years with a steering committee, and we now have an advisory board and a brand new school merged the population of both of our schools located on the Blessed Sacrament site, and we're going to be up and running in a matter of a couple of weeks as classes begin on August 22nd as St. Katherine Drexel Academy. So we've got great new life, and says a lot about the Office for Schools and the commitment of Bishop McElroy and the Diocese of San Diego investing in the future of Catholic schools in the center city of San Diego, to have the forethought to really come up with this plan. And Mr. Magana and I are thrilled to be part of the leadership team that is rolling out this new school. So happy to talk with you today and answer your questions about what's going on at Drexel.
Awesome. That's amazing. And, whenever you have something, rejuvenated or renewed, either, in the bringing up of something brand new or, the forming of, two amazing, schools from their pastime and into something new is always a great thing. Can you highlight, especially, you highlighted that it was like a 2-year evaluation, the whole process that happened with that. This past year, can you highlight leading up into, the new formation of the new school? What were some top principal moments or some key moments that you saw in your community, on your campus, that you definitely want to highlight for those who didn't get to experience it or see it yet?
Yep. Well, we actually had a real exciting December. December 2017 was the highlight of the year when we planned with both teaching staffs and through, again, Mr. Magana and I working together. We planned on a day of bringing the entire Lady of Sacred Heart community over to the Blessed Sacrament school site. So the teachers and the office staff worked together so that we were able to bring everybody over, and then everybody in, for example, fifth grade was together with fifth grade. The office staff was together with the office staff, and we really had an opportunity to live life for a half day because we get out at noon on Wednesdays. So the two schools came together, got to meet their other school counterpart, and we planned activities together and took the group photo. So the group photo that you see on the SKDA.org website is a picture of that December visit day where Our Lady of the Sacred Heart literally merged with Blessed Sacrament in physical spirit as we came together as a preview of what St. Katherine Drexel Academy was going to be like. So for me, that is the highlight of the past school year, where we were planning on opening this brand new integrated model. And I think the second thing that I would like to share is leading up to that December meeting. In October, we finalized the name. So that was, again, a multi-month process, working through the steering committee and the consultants that the diocese brought in, the Sister Judith Dugan. The consulting team came up with a couple of names, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton and St. Katherine Drexel, both American-born saints who focused their life's work and their ministry on furthering the opportunities of underprivileged in Catholic education. And both communities got to vote on the name of the new school. And so the name of the new school is a collaborative effort by the Our Lady of Sacred Heart and Blessed Sacrament communities, parents, teachers, staffs, saying that this saint represents the future that we see ahead of our new merged schools. So the name St. Katherine Drexel Academy actually was chosen by the members of the two school communities, and the students then formed through their own survey the mascot. And so the mascot that we voted on was the Crusaders, which is the current Our Lady of Sacred Heart mascot, in keeping that legacy alive. So to me, that highlights the 2-year process of these two great legacy schools and wonderful faith communities coming together as people, knowing that we're the ones that are going to make this faith life community of our church move forward. And the St. Katherine Drexel Academy school name, the way in which we are collaborating, and the mascot as we go forward to compete now as one school. The future rested in the hands of the past, as the people who are making these halls come alive this year, they're responsible for putting this whole plan into place. So I'm just thrilled to be able to be the principal leading this great community of people.
Amazing. I love that story. You through action, you actually see a piece of everything, not something just from one side or the other. Really forming what's going to be your new school and your new mascot. Because picking a name, just like picking a name for a newborn child or what have you, it carries with it a lot of a lot of weight, and there's many things that go into it than it's rather than it just being literally a name, right?
Correct.
There's history.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
and the name then is going to carry on that legacy. And so the quick story, if people haven't had the opportunity to do the quick Google search and research on St. Katherine Drexel, This lady formed the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament to open up schools for oppressed and disadvantaged Native American and African American kids that were seeking education. And so, again, working to end racism, working to further inclusion and advantage and opportunity through Catholic education is what St. Katherine Drexel lived her life for in celebrating the Eucharist. So the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, when they found out our name, they also did send us a commemorative card with a blessed piece of St. Katherine Drexel's belongings. So we have that now in a proper enshrined location in our new school office. So we invite people to come on by and take a look at what's going on at this exciting new school.
That's very cool. And man, that's a great way to get things started, something to, anchor, when new visitors come by, or even alumni, right, from both campuses like that. It's something to share, with them, something that's very, it has a great deal of respect, integrity, and legacy, to it. So it makes them feel good, right? Because, I'm sure you have a good amount of alumni from both schools who will be, wanting to send, their child or their children, there to continue on what they experienced when they were students there. I'm going to assume.
Right. You are definitely assuming correctly, and we're proud again of the alumni legacy and the roles that the alumni of both Our Lady of the Sacred Heart and Blessed Sacrament have contributed to the betterment of this world. And we also did have celebrations of Our Lady of Sacred Heart celebrated their 90th anniversary last school year, and Blessed Sacrament celebrated our 70th. And in so doing, our celebrations were a part of celebration of life during those initial decades as our original namesake, but we also did do a bridge to the future. And the Blessed Sacrament community, of which I've been principal prior for the past 4 years, we did a time capsule burying and invited our alumni representatives back to help us do that. The burying of the time capsule. And so the plan is that we will dig that time capsule up in 5 more years, which will be our 3rd graders' 8th grade graduation year. And then digging up that time capsule every 5 years going forward allows us to, again, collaborate and merge these 2 legacy schools with very, very strong, solid alumni base, so that our students can have a connection to the past, but also build the forward thinking and the legacy forward by thinking about what artifacts, what representations of our progress and our story as St. Katherine Drexel Academy do we want to put in our time capsule, and then that will be part of our whole school celebration in the forming of our new alumni base. So this way we can invite everybody back and have a little bit of celebration of legacy, past, present, future, going forward. So it's been a very fun and a very creative year to connect the pieces through the stories and the ideas and the vision of so many people, our faculty, our staff, and our alumni, and even our alumni faculty, who a lot did come back for that celebration of the time capsule and helped us come up with this legacy idea.
Amazing. And see, for those listening, if you're a leader, a principal, an administrator, maybe in a different school district or what have you, use that segment that Ms. Egan talked about with the time capsule. Use that. We always like to use the podcast as a learning opportunity, not just for just disseminating information, but actually stuff that you can take action on. And, the time capsule idea, while it's time, it's pardon the pun, right? It's timeless. It's been around for a while. Don't discount that. If you're hearing this and you're wondering, and even if you're not, joining 2 schools together, but maybe you're kind of, you want to take that and make it on a micro level and just say, hey, there's a change in, like, say you're a new principal, maybe there's a change in leadership from what the community has been used to, and you're brand new, right? Or you're new to the community. You use that. leverage it as an icebreaker, as a bridge, another form of communication to the community, so that way you can meet them at that level. It's super huge. That brings me into the great stuff. Now we know a little bit more about your school, the history, what went on this past year and everything like that. I know one of the other things that went on that was huge, that you guys are, I'm sure, really excited about, is more of the in the science, technology, and the curriculum front, about what you guys are actually going to be educating and educating the students on and everything, so that they get just a world class 360-degree really great learning experience. Can you share a little bit about what you guys are going to be getting into this year, and what the near future plan is too, regarding that, with your school?
Yeah, again, I think, Mark, you hit on it. For us, there's just so many exciting, great new things that we get to be a part of. You mention them and you go, oh yeah, I'm more excited about that than I was about the other. But no, I'm equally excited. In terms of the curriculum and the learning design, I think that I have to say that I am most excited about the opportunity to be part of a next generation Catholic school. So thank you to the Office for Schools for helping us and 3 other schools, including St. Michael's Academy. We are part of a group of 4 schools in a cohort that's being trained by Loyola Marymount University professors to be certified as a next generation science school, and we will be certified in blended learning methodology, which means we get to integrate technology into the learning opportunities of all of our students. So at St. Katherine Drexel Academy, we are blessed with almost $300,000 worth of investment by the Shea Foundation a year ago, last summer, 2017. They upgraded our infrastructure, so 11 classrooms have short throw projectors that are wirelessly connected to the laptops and iPads that students and teachers are able to use. And now this year we're engaged with St. Michael's Academy and 3 other Catholic schools, training with Loyola Marymount. So the students can use these devices and the Wi-Fi system seamlessly, and that's just part of everyday learning. And we're being trained in next generation science standards. So the opportunity to have site licenses for textbooks that are online, with the ability to use iPads and laptops in a one-to-one classroom situation, in a mobile learning campus where learning can be done with these devices inside the classroom or outside about on campus with field learning, is something that we're thrilled to have the opportunity to do. And then mom and dad can even log on with son and daughter at home on these sites, because the textbooks and the information system that the teachers and students can use are available online. So families can also get involved in the learning process. And from a principal site leader role, the excitement here is that we have the opportunity now to share the new generation of what school and what learning is. From this point forward, it's collaborative and it's seamless between home and school. And mom and dad get to ask questions, not how was school, but what did you do differently today? Or what did you learn today that's brand new that you could teach me? So it opens up a lot of opportunity for continuing that education from a student to home and home back to school relationship and communication channel, where the student can literally become the teacher at home and the peer leader at school as they work together through the methodologies that we're being trained in. So the future of Catholic education is so exciting. You need sunglasses like you do in these hot days this summer to just look at how bright that future is, with the opportunity to be a blended learning next generation Catholic school.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, being like, for me personally, I've been in the technology industry doing IT work, just managing various devices from, in different industries, like the financial services industry, all the way to the telecommunications. and from small companies to global organizations. And just seeing a lot of what these highlights or the summaries of how they're integrating technology just throughout all the curriculum, as opposed to just being the old legacy. You teach it as a class. It just falls in line with that, because pretty much I can go to any startup company, any established company, and or anything in between, all the way down to like a sole proprietorship, right? A solo entrepreneur, and they're all using these different tools. And even if they themselves are the only person in their company, they're still using all those different facets of using technology throughout the different tools, either for finance, managing the budget, the finances for their company, to like the creative work, the marketing, all the way down to whatever the subject matter expert that they are. They're working with people. They're either hiring like freelancers, or outsourcing out certain services so that they can just focus on their thing. So in a way, these are fundamental building blocks to setting these students up to either be great founders, entrepreneurs, or just rock star employees that can just better a bigger organization. Because we all know not every student is going to want to be an employee, and likewise, not every student is going to want to own their own business and run a company, right? And you'll have students everywhere in between. So having those skills that are universal, that transfer depending on no matter whatever they do, is huge. And I think that the thing that sets that I think we both can agree on, having that faith anchor all of that stuff, to keep that moral compass and that integrity there. I think that's that extra edge that that can give the kids as they grow and mature, the confidence to know that they can really accomplish things amazingly individually, but even unfathomable in small groups with these skills that they're learning. So,
right. That's you nailed the connecting piece. Being a Catholic school, our competitive advantage is always our Christ-like role modeling, our Christian atmosphere, and knowing that our moral compass of good, bad, right, and wrong is defined by the gospel values. And now we have the opportunity of connecting the pieces to the emerging culture of fast growing, newly invented technological devices, tools that can be used for so many things that human beings can choose to use them for and innovate and create based on using these tools. And the fact that we bring the competitive advantage of having a culture of a Catholic school, excellent learning environment, combined with the opportunity to train and teach the appropriate, proper, and creative use of emerging tools in a learning environment that is Christ-centered and student-focused, it doesn't get any better than that. So the value of a Catholic school at St. Katherine Drexel Academy is that we bring all of the elements of what's great about Catholic schools together with what will emerge as being even greater in terms of learning opportunities and a school culture. And we really, again, do see the bright future of this opportunity, and cannot thank enough the Bishop of San Diego and the office, and John Galvan, the director of the Office for Schools, for selecting our two schools, rather than to say your enrollment is challenged, we are seeing an end. They saw the bright future could be new beginnings by integrating these two great communities, and that's what we see as well. And we've already seen it again last year working together. So we look very forward to the excitement and the stories that we get to share by being a blended learning next generation Catholic school in San Diego.
Awesome. It is really exciting. I mean, I got goosebumps while we're doing the recording, because I love this energy that we have. And I'm hoping that if you're listening to this while you're working out, or if you're on your commute to work or from work or somewhere in between, or you're taking a moment for yourself just to kind of recharge yourself, and you haven't given us maybe the thought of Catholic schools for your child or your children, have if it's crossed your mind, but maybe there's those common questions that pop up, like, hey, how can I afford it? Is there one by my home or by my residence or what have you? They are great options. You can see by some of the topics that we're talking about, these are relevant, important topics from a parent point of view that you're going to ask yourself that same question if you were sending your kids to a public school or charter school, or whatever plan you have for your family. But hearing this at least I think has earned at least a little bit of respect for us to give us a shot. Check out St. Katherine Drexel Academy, St. Michael Academy. We cover different parts of San Diego County. We're out St. Michael Academy is down in the South Bay area of San Diego County, and then St. Katherine Drexel is in that Center City area. We also have some of the other cohorts like St. Mary Escondido that covers in North County, but there's tons of Catholic schools out there. And I know that there was a newer site that our past podcast guest, Mr. Matthew Cordes, highlight. I think the SD Catholic Schools .com.
I think it's .org.
.org. Okay. Yep. So let me go ahead. Let's see, SD Catholic. I got it on my computer right here. Perfect. Yep. So for those, if you're interested and you're wondering, and even for the San Diego or Imperial Valley County areas of, in San Diego itself, in this area, if you go to SD Catholic Schools, that's with an S at the end, .org, you can find either of our two schools or other schools that can best fit something close to your home, something closer to your work, or something in between. They got great information there and a phenomenal school locator to find something that best fits you and your family. So that is amazing stuff. And we want to close on here and ask you, hey, what events do you have coming up, Miss Egan, for your school? Like, what are some? I know you guys are starting on the 22nd. We start on the 23rd. Within the next 2 weeks, it's going to be really busy for the teachers, but like, what are some of the events that, the parents and families can get really excited for?
Well, we're excited about our 2 family orientation days on August 18th at 3:30 in the afternoon before the 5:30 Mass at Blessed Sacrament is a family orientation. Families can choose that option, or Monday night, 6:30. The 20th of August is the second date for family orientation. At that point, we'll welcome everybody and literally introduce them to the teaching staff and walk them through the school, because everything is different and our formatting has changed as a next generation blended learning school. So we're using our facility differently, and we're using time differently, and our teaching staff will be set up in lower school and upper school teaching teams. So our children are going to experience a variety of classrooms, a variety of outdoor learning sites, and a variety of qualified teaching staff to help them learn the academics, as well as learn from each other in multi-age peer groups, as well as in small learning community families. That's based on different age groups. So we want our families to be introduced through orientation. And then school begins with a half day on the 22nd of August, and our community will be sending out an invitation to any member of our San Diego Catholic community to invite members to participate in our opening Mass at 11 o'clock on August 29th. That's a Wednesday at 11 o'clock on August 29th. We'll have a celebrated opening school Mass, the very first at St. Katherine Drexel Academy. And so that's how we will begin our school year, by beginning our liturgical year as a united community, and invite anyone who would like to come and participate in that opening Mass to join us.
Amazing. That's awesome. That's very awesome. And, for those, if those listening right now, didn't get during the interview, where are you guys at on the internet, like with your website, your social media channels? How do we find you in this modern landscape of communication?
All right, that's a great question. We take full advantage of our social media presence. We drive everyone first to our website, which is SKDA, stands for St. Katherine Drexel Academy, SKDA-SD for San Diego.org. That's our website, and you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Yelp right now. That's our social media presence.
Awesome. And then do you know for your social media, like on Instagram, I know on Twitter, you guys, your Twitter handle, you guys go by, I think Drexel SD. Do you guys use the same?
Yep.
Like S like Sam, D like Delta. Do you guys use that same handle for like Instagram and Facebook?
Yes.
Or is it a little different?
Well, Instagram, I believe, is still Drexel SD, and I think Facebook is St Katherine Drexel Academy.
Perfect. And for those listening, either way, if like Miss Egan mentioned, either way, if you get lost, always go back to the hub, the mothership, which is the website. And then I know I've been to the website on my mobile phone, it comes out very good on a mobile phone because most of our listeners are probably listening to this podcast on their iPhone or on their smartphone. So when you go to that website, and I'll put a link to their website in the show notes. So if you go into the show notes of this episode when you're listening to it, there'll be a little link in there. When you tap on it, it will actually open up your web browser on your phone, and it will bring you to their website. So when you're on their website, if you're wondered, how do I get to their Facebook page or their Instagram page or their Twitter or Yelp, that will all be there, and it's very mobile friendly for this, this modern, computing environment. Using smartphones, and sure, you can do it from a computer. That works too. Well, awesome. We just want to take a moment, because we're very respectful of your time, to say thank you so much for, being open to having us, learn more about your community, learn how you guys are making it, not just right now, but planting those seeds to make, an amazing, bountiful, just crop of amazing leaders, who are faith-driven, who just love to serve and, just overall make this community and make this world better than when we left it. So, just want to commend you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to participate and to really hear the story of the seeds of St. Katherine Drexel Academy, because you're right. We literally are planting those seeds as we're speaking, and we will see the harvest come in a few years in the future. But until then, I'd like to end with the vision of St. Katherine Drexel Academy is to empower great minds and great hearts to change the world. So it literally is about putting those great faith-filled people out there in our community to serve others and to put others before selves. And that's the type of Catholic leader that we are growing right here in San Diego. And again, I thank everybody who's been a part of this great partnership. And I thank you, Mark, for having us on so that we can share the Drexel dream for the future, and hope other people might want to come and check that out and share in the dream building with us. Thank you.
No problem. Awesome. And with that, everyone, thanks again for your time and attention. We really value, your ears and your following, on that. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of the week. It's a Monday here in San Diego, but we know that there's many, exciting moments and everything for both schools and both communities and campuses to come. So we thank you again for joining us on another episode of the SMA Audio Experience Podcast. Look out for another episode in the next couple of weeks. Till then, take care, God bless, and bye for now. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the SMA Audio Experience Podcast, brought to you by St. Michael San Diego's Technology and Social Media team. For more information, go ahead and visit our website at www.smasandiego.org. On Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, we use the common handle or username of SMA San Diego. So you can definitely reach out to us there, leave a tweet, a message, a post, a comment. We'll be happy to engage with you, answer all your questions, and really join in part of sharing the St. Michael San Diego story on social media and on the internet, and also via the podcast. So thanks again for listening. Take care, and we'll hear you next week.